As rival organizations meet to resolve decades-long tensions across North and East London, both sides refuse apologies. When real compromise fails, leadership abandons the partnership instead of accepting this fragile truce. Violence erupts at nightclubs and private locations. The morning brings Riverside fishing while childhood memories surface during conversations about upcoming property negotiations. The Maltese submit heroin offers, which prompts planning for fentanyl market expansion despite the risks. News about a serious family crisis emerges. Hours after the stabbing, hospital visits begin as efforts work to erase evidence and silence witnesses. While pressure builds on the victim to claim he can't identify his attacker, separate conversations about primal therapy unfold elsewhere simultaneously. Fast resolution must happen before investigation moves forward. While arguments about couples therapy are recorded, past disagreements about processing emotions remain unresolved. When urgent calls reveal that someone's son never returned home after the nightclub incident, immediate action and risky meetings must take place. Multiple urgent phone conversations follow through the evening. Confrontations unfold directly as demands for a missing person create immediate threats with noon deadlines that need answers. Business propositions about fentanyl face strong resistance from relatives who question the wisdom of starting wars with rivals. Internal conflicts grow as views clash. While evidence from the violent confrontation proceeds throughout the contaminated room, business expansion discussions reveal risky partnerships. Furniture removal continues with cleanup as betrayal concerns surface among operations leadership. Emotional weight bears down heavily. As investigators press hard for detailed information about the missing associate, legal representation blocks any cooperation. Coordination efforts work to relocate someone to safety, while threats rise across rival factions. Suspicions about internal leaks form. When someone pitches a desperate business proposition seeking redemption, dismissal follows swiftly given past failures. Rival factions exchange hostile warnings before a high-speed chase erupts through city streets, forcing defensive maneuvers. Emergency response operations extract the survivors. Safety updates arrive quickly among worried relatives while negotiations proceed. Pricing disagreements won't budge as escalating confrontation transforms into a kidnapping with chilling threats delivered through storytelling. Immediate resolution must happen now. Scheduled therapy sessions slip past once again while deep relationship strain intensifies. Authority figures debate responsibility and fate as lineage becomes a weapon to justify violent behavior shaping identity. Departure signals, urgent action is required. Threats escalate when a rival targets the entire operation, forcing everyone into protective mode. Urgent preparations unfold while critical decisions about safety and loyalty drive tense conversations that can't wait. Lives hang in the balance now. Relocation efforts begin as trusted contacts help move vulnerable people to safe locations away from immediate danger. Throughout these hasty arrangements, many details about the crisis stay unclear, while tensions keep building across all fronts. Trust becomes more fragile hourly. Strategy sessions produce several potential solutions, while difficult negotiations begin with outside parties who might offer help. As options receive careful consideration, dynamics and past grievances complicate every proposed path forward that could end the crisis. Time's running out faster than expected. Interrogation tactics intensify as desperate measures get deployed to extract crucial information from the captive holding leverage. While threats against his kin escalate the pressure significantly, serious doubts form about whether he'll actually cooperate or if everything's truly collapsing. Nobody trusts anyone in this room now. New complications surface involving valuable stolen property and an ambitious outsider trying blackmail that threatens exposure. As meetings proceed at upscale locations, the web of secrets and obligations grows more tangled while strategies emerge from every corner. Multiple crises hit at once. Intimidation escalates over a stolen memory stick containing critical information that someone desperately wants returned. As threats intensify, conversation pivots toward money and assurances while one person keeps a cover story about looking after kittens for a friend. Past deals return. Evidence points to one person's identity, yet inconsistencies create serious doubts about what really happened. While theories form about who might have tipped off authorities, accusations fly and trust crumbles between former allies. A search begins. As history unravels, secrets about past affairs surface that have stayed buried for decades. Someone admits the truth about a relationship with a massive age gap between the parties involved, despite knowing the admission changes everything. Emotions hit hard. Paternity confirmation strikes hard, revealing a biological son nobody expected to discover through this investigation. Warnings follow about maintaining appearances and keeping key people sharp for upcoming work that requires total focus and clear thinking. Perception outweighs reality. Throughout the confrontation, loyalty faces direct challenge and reminders come about who actually controls employment despite competing relationships. Surveillance plans unfold during the meeting where proving trustworthiness becomes essential to continued survival. Relief arrives finally. When a rival extends an invitation to attend a funeral and wake, the proposal brings fast suspicion. While some recognize the strategic calculation behind this friendly gesture, others warn openly about the threats of walking into enemy territory. The decision requires balancing risk against strength. Analysis of the calculated invitation reveals layers of moves meant to shame and show weakness. Some view attending as an opportunity to demonstrate composure and watch rival work up close, though others recognize the theatrical show hides deadly plans. Armed backup plans feel essential. As separate business transactions form involving valuable stones of questionable origin, concerns develop that need fast checks from experts. Confrontation occurs when damaging evidence appears with leverage that limits options, forcing reluctant cooperation between parties. Hidden weapon placement gets coordinated. The delegation arrives at the funeral venue, maintaining careful composure despite clear undercurrents of hostility. Throughout the service, mourners exchange formal condolences, while rival factions monitor each other's movements with obvious watching, every gesture carrying weight beyond its surface meaning. Discreet security coordination proceeds. Hostile exchanges erupt during the wake, when pointed warnings arrive and boundaries crossed repeatedly. Forcible removal occurs when drinking triggers accusations that expose deeper resentments hiding below the surface, prompting tense talks and threats exchanged between rival factions. Agreements stay fragile throughout. Communications catch a messenger who's tied to criminal networks, while security scrambles to track down kin. Phone calls reveal mounting threats as protective measures turn on fast, and operations pull a daughter from her exam. The stakes just turned into full war. When news shows who ordered the car bombing that killed rivals, shockwaves ripple through the assembled group. Leadership declares the explosive device was planted days earlier with careful planning, while payback plans and cartel ties get activated immediately. War preparations dominate every conversation. Security protocols intensify around vulnerable targets as relocation operations move into high gear. Vehicle tracking systems activate while encrypted communications establish safe routes away from exposed positions. Every movement gets monitored now. Tactical positioning advances as weapons, cache access gets confirmed, and strike logistics take shape. Simultaneous movements coordinate across multiple locations, while intelligence updates flow through secure channels. Attack preparations reach final stages. The assault launches with coordinated breaches at multiple entry points as armed confrontation explodes into chaos. Gunfire exchanges tear through the location, while tactical movements attempt to control choke points. Casualties mount on both sides as violence consumes everything. Investigation procedures activate at the massacre site as forensic documentation captures the carnage. Evidence collection proceeds methodically, while witness interviews attempt to reconstruct the timeline. Law enforcement presence saturates the area. Legal defense strategies form as arrests loom imminent and exposure risks escalate. Communication channels shut down while alibis get constructed and potential witnesses receive coaching. Damage control operations shift into overdrive. Interrogation sessions intensify as investigators apply pressure through contradiction identification and timeline inconsistencies. While some accounts hold firm under scrutiny, others show cracks that investigators exploit aggressively. The web tightens around key suspects. Political maneuvering accelerates as power brokers calculate advantage from the chaos and old alliances face reassessment. Territory redistribution discussions begin while vulnerable positions get shored up. The landscape shifts rapidly. About who it was that told the filth, accusations explode between former partners as trust collapses completely. Bitter confrontations reveal long-buried resentments and competing versions of loyalty. Betrayal cuts deeper than bullets. Custody processing begins as booking procedures move forward and charges get formalized. Legal representation arrives to manage initial hearings while bail negotiations determine who walks and who stays. The system grinds forward. Prison adaptation begins as hierarchies assert themselves and protection arrangements get negotiated. Communication networks activate to maintain outside connections, while internal politics determine safety zones. Survival instincts take over. Trial preparation accelerates as prosecution builds its case and defense strategies take shape. Evidence review reveals gaps and opportunities while witness credibility faces systematic attack. Both sides prepare for battle. External pressure campaigns mobilize as media narratives get shaped and public opinion manipulation advances. Political connections activate to influence proceedings, while counter-pressure operations attempt to neutralize advantages. The battle extends beyond the courtroom. As the system processes accusations and evidence, personal costs mount for everyone caught in the machinery. Relationships fracture under strain while financial resources drain rapidly. Nobody escapes unscathed. Verdict anticipation builds as final arguments conclude and jury deliberations begin. Tension saturates the courthouse while supporters and opponents wait for resolution. Every minute stretches endlessly. When the verdict arrives, courtroom reactions explode in multiple directions as winners celebrate and losers absorb the blow. Immediate legal responses activate while emotional responses overwhelm careful planning. The moment changes everything. Release procedures complete as freed defendants walk out while prosecutors assess appeal options and next moves. Media coverage explodes around the verdict as analysis and speculation dominate coverage. Public reactions split sharply. Post-trial adjustments begin as power dynamics reset and territories get reclaimed. Old scores await settling while new alliances form from the wreckage. The game continues with different players. Despite the legal victory, internal fractures deepen as accusations about informants persist and trust never fully returns. Paranoia poisons relationships while everyone calculates their position. The damage runs too deep to heal. Troubled history marked by prison and fractured relationships haunts every attempt at normalcy. Determined efforts concentrated on building respectable lives and protecting children from criminal influence, but maternal manipulation worked systematically to corrupt. Only ruthless monsters survive. Interrogation sessions force confessions, exposing deep betrayals and long-buried secrets. Mounting pressure intensifies for imminent confrontations between rival criminal factions, while serious doubts form about genuine control and loyalties. Trust has vanished entirely. During prison visits, shocking secrets about parentage and previous betrayals explode into open discussion. Simultaneous negotiations with rival factions advance steadily, while double agents disclose critical intelligence about vulnerable locations, creating perfect conditions for strikes. Both sides prepare ambushes. When operations quietly deploy to strategic locations throughout the city, violence looms imminent. Brutal confrontations erupt as long-buried parentage truths finally detonate, triggering desperate pleas for intervention and violent outbursts. Ruthlessness separates survivors. Negotiations with potential allies collapse entirely as ultimatums fly and threats escalate rapidly. Survival instincts override any remaining loyalty or sentimentality, while domestic frustrations boil over about the relentless chaos consuming life. War feels inevitable.